Well, Terry, this is a surprise to everybody involved. We figure we're just going to shock people and go live just randomly.
Well, because it's easier than actually planning our lives. So,
Well, because between my daughter's birthday, your trips, my trips, no one's really. I mean, we plan trips just randomly, don't we?
yep. And plus, them Braves are hot right
I,
now. So,
I got them on. I've got them on in my office.
man, I've been watching more baseball the last couple of weeks than I have in a long time. my hopes aren't too high, but
Hey,
since
see
we've
what
last
happens.
recorded, I've gone to a game.
Hey, there you go. And I tried to go to Orlando, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, so Terry, I'm going to go ahead because we got to do this quickly, guys. We're thinking about you. Terry's going to get on an airplane tonight, so we're going to go ahead and hit the go live or hit the music, and then we're going to start recording. You ready, Terry?
Let's do it.
All right.
This is Top of the World, the Disney Vacation Club podcast. A proud part of the WDW Today and Laugh-O-Gram Studios family. Join us as we talk parks, points, perks, and all things DVC, and how to get the most out of your membership. Here they are, Dave Adams and Terry Weaver.
Well, welcome home. I'm Terry Weaver, and that's Dave Adams.
Hey, I thought I got to say that.
Nope, you don't get to say anything. It's just going to be me telling you what to say from now on. It seems to make the listeners happy anyway. So
that's what people say happens on anyway on our reviews, right?
Yeah, just let Dave talk. He's got something to say,
and I do.
And I'll let you talk.
No, I'm good now. I'm not going to talk. You talked for me. Anyway, all right, we're here,
and we're mostly happy. I'm literally, as Dave said in the pre-show, if you're watching live, I'm literally sitting here watching my flight get delayed. I'm going to Orlando this week for two reasons. The primary reason is I need to record and have some meetings around the thing.
Thanks, Vance. This is Vance, Facebook user, but I like when Dave doesn't talk.
Yes.
Vance, come on, dude.
Yeah, I like it. I like Vance. And so yeah, I'm supposed to literally get into Orlando tonight. I'm staying for a few nights at the hotel where we're having the thing. And then I went ahead when I saw the news, I said, hey, let me see if I can just snag like a Saratoga Springs room or something. And that way that I'm technically staying on the Disney property to be able to get into Top of the World before we fly home. I was going to stay for the first day of Food and Wine, but we're going out of the country later this week. So it's a pretty busy season for me. We're going to Canada, and so the America's hat.
Wait, I'm going to be in Canada.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well,
I'll be on an island, off of Vancouver Island, and can probably wave at you as you sail by.
Yeah, well, I'll be at British Columbia on the 21st, I think. We're doing an Alaskan cruise, and then I finally get to go to Disneyland, and we will talk about that.
My wife's family had used to own an island in Canada. Ooh. And then they moved to another island and sold that. This was way back in the day when people used to go camping on islands because that sounded like a fun thing to do.
Camping never sounds fun unless it's
man. I am with you. I am
unless it's glamping, and then
people do you want to go to Fort Wilderness? And I was like, well, maybe if we stay in a cabin, maybe. But I'd rather just go for hoop-de-doo and leave, which is finally open again.
Yep.
Now I do have my friend Shane Quick, who spoke at my event, and he also runs a company called Premier Productions. They do Rock the South in Coleman, Alabama, and they do the what's the tour? Everybody, I can't think of the name of the tour. There's a tour, everybody. It's a bunch of Christian artists. They do that one.
Oh,
They
okay.
do Perfect.
Cool.
They do some pretty cool stuff. And but him and his family grab a tour bus and take it normally to because the company has a bunch of tour buses. So they literally make like backstage passes for their kids' friends and roll up in there. It's pretty fun. But yeah, man, camping is not my wife and I have this conversation about camping, and it's like, oh, I love to camp. I typically prefer like the Marriott, the Hyatt. They have wonderful campgrounds. They come with an air conditioner, typically a bug-free environment.
Yes, sir.
No s'mores, but you can find some place that'll serve a nice s'mores dessert. And,
you could do s'mores in a microwave anytime.
Well, I mean, almost every hotel has fire pits now too. I mean, even the Holiday Inn, Hampton Inns have fire pits. It seems like these days on the porch. So, yeah, man. So one of the things we haven't done a show that I think unfortunately we're not going to be able to dedicate a whole show to it is we did this whole like big like go up, like you were going to go back and you were going to get to hug Mickey and you're going to get to see your girl's experience Mickey and you're you kind of have a non-trip report to give us.
I do. So
the reason why it won't be a whole episode,
because it didn't happen. So I'll most people have heard this. I mean, anybody who's Facebook friends with me has probably heard it on my other Go Getaways travel podcast, which is really not a podcast anymore. It's like kind of more of a vlog. We don't even put it up on Apple Podcasts. But so we flew out Thursday night. We were going to go do a Father's Day weekend. We flew from Huntsville to Atlanta. No problem. Then we get to Atlanta and our flight kept getting delayed further and further and further because they had 3 of their their flight attendants, but the 4th one was on a plane that was scheduled to land at 12:30 a.m. It was originally supposed to land at 10 a.m. But 12:30 a.m. comes, still no flight. All of a sudden, it says that flight attendant's flight will land at 1:30 p.m. the next day. So Amanda and I start looking at flights. There's no flights for any airline out of Atlanta to Orlando from there. So we waited it out. About 1:45, just some random person who is a flight attendant for Delta on her off day shows up and says, "All right, I'll do it." They start doing their pre-boarding stuff and go talk to the pilot. About 2 a.m., the pilot says, "I'm timed out. I can't fly." So we're stranded at the Atlanta airport.
At 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m. The gate attendant for Delta says, "I'm sorry, your flight has been canceled. Good luck," and walks off.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Basically.
And this is sort of, for those of you like myself that are a little older, we grew up in the golden age of travel. And I totally sound like an old man on the porch with my pipe and my jacket here. But used to, when this would happen, airlines would roll out the red carpet and trumpeteers would start playing and, they'd book you hotel rooms and help make alternative arrangements. You'd get rebooked on another flight. And now it's a lot like roaming the Serengeti, hoping you don't get eaten by a wild animal.
It gets a lot worse.
Here we go.
They gave us a $120 food voucher, right, to be used in the airport. But at 2 a.m.,
there ain't nothing open.
Find me something that's open.
Nothing.
So I'm thinking, okay, because I work for Boeing, we've got to deal with Avis. So I quickly get on with Avis and book a one-way car rental, thinking, all right, I'm full of adrenaline now. We're going to drive. I get to the Avis counter, and if you haven't gotten to the car rental place in Atlanta's airport, it's a trek to get there.
It's in a far off. Speaking of the Savannah,
right? It's in a far off land. So I get
It's back in Huntsville, actually.
Basically, I get there, and as I'm getting to the counter, the lady says, "If you have made an online reservation one-way reservation within the last 24 hours online. I'm sorry, we have no cars. And I said, wait, whoa. I've got right here, says I have a car. She said, I'm sorry, that's false information. And they wouldn't hold it.
What did Avis do for you? Did you follow up with Avis afterwards?
No, I did not. I just canceled the reservation.
I would reach out to Avis, dude. You should get a free rent-a-car next time you go somewhere. That's bogus.
I thought about it, but it was too.
I mean, here's the deal. I mean, and here's the reality, folks. If we, as the traveling public, and people are like, "Oh man, you know, you've heard Dave and I argue ad nauseum about Disney magic. If we tolerate the magic being gone, if we tolerate these customers, now granted, please, for the love, don't take it out on the poor, unfortunate souls that are stuck there dealing with you. These are decisions that are being made by corporate schmucks that never have to encounter actual humans ever.
Right.
And they're making decisions that, you know, poor Dorothy, who's been with Delta for 47 and a half years, is now trying to figure out the look of like princesses when they find out they're not going to Disney World.
Oh, we had a moment. Jeffrey Martin, hit that Twitter. It'll get fixed quicker than a phone call. He's not wrong.
He's correct.
Yep.
And don't at them. Put them in the body of your tweet.
And hashtag it. Don't add them.
Oh,
hashtag it.
Yeah. Well, no, I would at them. I mean, literally, I just had a UPS delivery and like my wife ordered a piece of furniture for her birthday.
Yeah.
And there's a big gouge in the top. Well, part of the reason why there's a gouge in the top of it is because they just dropped it literally in the middle of my driveway. They didn't ring my doorbell. They didn't put it on my front porch. It just literally is in the middle of my driveway. Like, and dude, I mean, we're living in a different world right now. The world has shifted drastically, but you know, these things will only continue as long as we tolerate them.
Yep. So at this point in time, no car rentals. It's 2:30, I'd say, in the morning.
And you're in the Delta. No, you're in the Avis car rental. It's just a big car rental building.
Yeah, I'm in the car rental building. So no cars. So I think
North Florida, basically.
No, we're in Atlanta.
No, I know, but that's
yeah. So I think, okay, let's try to find a hotel. Well, unbeknownst to me, there's a Kid Rock concert downtown. There are no hotel rooms within, I'd say, 30 miles of the Atlanta airport.
Ba with a ba.
Bang to bang, diggy diggy. Yep.
You tried to up jump the boogie and you couldn't.
I called 3 or 4 hotels. All of them, you know, of course, we couldn't book online because it just gives us the next day.
Yeah, and that's the trick is like you almost have to start planning for these things in advance because Marjorie has worked with me and she was stuck in DC a couple weeks ago coming back from one of our friends' events. And man, what a nightmare, you know. It
is. I'll say this. Okay, so before I finish up, I'll say this.
And then I'm going to actually give you some redeeming travel tips because I've traveled a good bit.
Yeah. Well, and I fixed it.
Literally, I'm right here refreshing. I mean, you can see I'm refreshing my Southwest flight, looking to see like, okay, right now we're at 44-minute delay.
That's not horrible.
I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the flight didn't leave till 9:45 at night to start with.
Yeah. So this is when we had our meltdown, when my oldest daughter finally realizes we're not going to get to go to Disney.
And where are we at in Dave's meltdown in this process?
Honestly, I kept as calm as I could be. Internally, I'm about to go off on somebody, but externally, because I had my girls with me.
You were about to go full Kid Rock, weren't you? You were about.
I was, but yeah. I had to keep it cool because I had the girls with me.
Yeah.
And if you stay cool and calm, they'll stay cool.
Calm is contagious.
Yep. So about 3:00. This is about 3:30.
What time did you leave your house at this point?
We left Huntsville, or I left my house probably about 4:30.
Okay, so you're like 11 hours into this fiasco.
Oh, also
the middle of the night.
Yeah. Also, remember, I worked all day the day before, or that day.
Okay.
So I woke up probably about 6. So about 3:30, we decided to just go sit at the Delta counter till they open up at 4:30. And luckily, we were, I'd say that, they had the stanchions. We were probably in the third zigzag thing. Luckily, we got there right in time because probably about 45 minutes after we got there just to sit. I couldn't see the end of the line.
What were you thinking was going to happen at this point?
At this point, they would either find us a flight to get us to Orlando first thing in the morning, or I'd just go back home. I mean, here we are. I'm up. It's going to be 24 hours plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be just useless if they got us to Orlando on Friday, and it's just a quick trip. So at this point, I'm thinking, all right, let's just go home. So in line, there was one flight leaving from Atlanta to Huntsville to get back to Huntsville, and it had 4 seats left.
Oh, you drove? Did you drive to Atlanta? Or did you fly to Atlanta?
Oh, we flew from Huntsville to Atlanta.
So you were mid trip.
Yeah, we were mid trip. So I just booked to get back home. It was $2,200. And I didn't even think about it. So we get up there. Delta credits that to their credit. They credited that to me. They gave us a lot of extra miles. They gave us they helped us out.
They gave you flight vouchers and
they made it right.
Did you at least have breakfast at the Atlanta airport before you
No,
left?
No, not at all. We had Chick-fil-A on the way home.
You had that food voucher you never used.
Right, exactly. Jeffrey asked a great question. I'm sure you'll talk about soon. How did Disney take your resort cancellation? They're used to it. I called them and immediately said, hey, guys, here's what happened. They said, yep, you're not the first one we've dealt with today. They credited every single point back to me and said, take care of it.
Is it it's probably went back to whatever your current use year is, but
yeah, it did. And which I rebooked for August 5th, which is good because if I had gone when I originally went, I wouldn't have been able to go to the top of the world. And we'll talk about that here later.
Yep. Yeah. And so a few things I think everybody needs to know is, and we've been doing this actually for years with Disney, is we typically, and I know this is like for those of you that have been doing, Magical Depress and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Go early.
Yep.
I've been tracking. I'm flying tonight. My flight was originally at 9:45. My flight, as of this moment, is delayed to 10:24 p.m.
When you can, fly direct.
Well, these are direct flights too, so I know that
right.
I'm not laying over. And that's honestly why a lot of my business travel buddies make fun of me. Like, you fly Southwest, man, fly Delta. And I'm like, no, man. Because that always, I spent way too much time in the Atlanta airport in that stanchion line.
Right.
And when I had status, it was no big deal. Because if you do have diamond and platinum status, they still typically do.
They'll go out of their way for you.
And you typically aren't in the stanchion line. You're in the club room. And they're taking care of you.
Well, the club was closed.
Yeah, but I mean, you have 800 numbers, and you have different phone numbers to call to get things handled.
That's true.
And so if you don't have those things, example today, the first flight out of Nashville was delayed 90 minutes, but it still went out. Nashville has 7 flights direct on Southwest today normally.
Oh wow,
that's down to 4 right now. A lot of your flight schedules are way down. And so allow an extra day, if not more. I don't really need to be there till tomorrow. And so I'm kind of regretting not doing the deal where I bought it was $30 more to upgrade to the one where you can, I bought the cheapest flight of the day tonight. But this is working. You and I are being able to do this, and I've gotten a lot of work done today.
Yeah.
And so I have some things I need to be there for during the work day. But man, if you need to be there, plan on, don't put your castle and your things that don't put the things that really, really matter at the very beginning of the trip.
Right. Exactly.
You got to give yourself more cushion everywhere. The lines are going to be longer, and just, you got to be aware of it. If you're flying out of Nashville, like I do, like Dave's going to next week, the Nashville airport's under construction. So the airport's cut in half. So there's problems. I waited 90 minutes just to get into the airport 2 weeks ago when I was taking someone to drop them off.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because after 9 o'clock, they closed the departures area and all of the departures have to go into the arrivals section.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, regardless of what time my flight is leaving, I will be at the airport before 9:00 tonight.
Yeah. So what we've done, we got 2 trips now. You're like he said, we're flying out of Nashville next week. We're flying up to Alaska. We were leaving Nashville at 7 p.m. that Thursday so we could work and all that stuff. But because of this fiasco, we changed our flight to leave early in the morning. So we're the first flight out. Everything I've read, all my travel agency stuff, everything I've seen says if you're the first flight out or if you're earlier in the morning, your flight is less likely to get canceled or less likely to have issues. The further on in the day, the more issues, the more pushback you get. So if you can, fly early.
And know your cities that are issues.
Yep.
Dallas,
Atlanta,
Houston, Atlanta, places that are in Tornado Alley, places that get thunderstorms, which is really most of the country in this time of year.
Speaking of thunderstorms, we just got put under a warning.
Yeah, so just be aware and be patient. Be super kind to the traveling professionals.
Yes.
The flight attendants and the gate agents. They're your allies. The last thing they want to do is look at you and your kids and say your trip is canceled.
Yeah.
And flights are full. And so when that flight gets booked and those 130 people get canceled, the next few days of travel get messed up too.
Yep.
It's a giant domino effect.
That weekend that we were in Atlanta, 132 flights, I think it was, got canceled. And 100 and something of those were Delta.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way Delta. That's the ratio of flights for that city.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And so, like for me, I really wanted to go see Food and Wine when I looked and saw that it opened. But I knew that my wife and I are going to the next Friday is my wife's birthday. We have a concert, and then the next morning we're flying out. So I didn't want to miss my wife's birthday, and so I knew it was important. So I'm coming home on Wednesday night instead, right?
What concert?
Hanson. Bop.
You know they're going to be at Food and Wine, right?
They are the day before the thing starts, so I'll go see them there probably too.
You could have waited. You didn't have to pay.
I've seen them at Food and Wine. They're one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
Bop.
Yeah.
Or you could also say, "Where is the love?"
Yeah, you know what's interesting about them at Hanson at Food and Wine? The majority of their fans come to every set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of fans? Still?
Oh, dude. They are one of the most successful revenue generating musicians on the planet right now.
Okay.
They have a beer. They have hops.
Okay, I've got to try it just because of the name. That's awesome.
Yeah. Normally it's at Food and Wine. Is they have the hops. So I haven't seen the beer list for this year. I don't really pay that much attention. But
yeah, I have. It's not. They haven't been on the menu.
They're normally in the normally where they are is in the Florida, the pavilion that's now like Florida beers or whatever.
Right.
So that's why they kind of rethemed that.
Right. Well. All right then.
Yeah, it's called hops.
I just have to go hops dibby da da hops dibby da da. Okay, anyway. Dibby da da ooh. Hey, and this okay. So this evening, gentlemen, that's Ben Harris, and this is what makes me the most upset is I was actually going to get to hang out with Ben that weekend, and now Ben's now left the States and gone back to England, so won't get a chance to hang out with him this time.
In 2019, it was at the Fife and Drum.
Okay.
So look and see if it's on the Fife and Drum menu this year.
I'll have to check it out.
If nothing else, I would bet they would have it the weekend that Hanson's there.
Okay. All right. Well, Terry, do we want to talk about the main reason we're here?
Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons we're here, but
yeah.
And that being said, like seriously, guys, like reduce some stress out of your travel. Get to Disney early. stay at the airport or stay off. It's getting harder and more complicated to get there. It's just the way that it is. And unfortunately, it's going to make those. I mean, Logan and I have both done when Southwest used to do the ding fairs.
Yeah.
Where he's done a same day trip. I've done a 24-hour trip where you fly down, get in a room for the night, and then come home the next day. That was back when you could fly round trip. Both Leslie and I were flying round trip from Nashville for under $100.
Good grief.
Annual passes were also under $400 then too. So
yeah, let's not talk about that.
I think my room at Pop Century was $59.
Holy crap!
And dude, this was in the 2000s. This wasn't like in another millennial or anything. But yeah, lots of big things have been coming up, changing. Things are getting a little more normal at the happiest place on earth. We're starting to see characters return to more and more places. Disney, the Disney executives still struggle with actually putting a date on the dang calendar. We still continue to see. I think there's still one or two parks that still don't have trams yet. Is that?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Good
I think
gracious.
AK and Magic Kingdom have the trams, but I don't think Epcot, which Epcot's parking isn't bad.
But come on. You can't say summer and after July 4th not have the trams running.
It's still summer. I will stick to that gun forever.
Good. Good for you sticking to that gun.
You know me.
You're a company man. You think Bob Chapek's the best CEO the Disney companies ever have too, don't you?
Yeah, that's a negative. Yeah. Negative ghostwriter. And
what's interesting is you and I have talked about this Chapek situation for a while. The tides are starting to turn against our good friend
Josh D'Amaro.
Josh D'Amaro. I think people are beginning to realize that he's the hidden Sith.
I think Josh D'Amaro is Palpatine sitting among the Senate right now.
I think you're right.
We'll see.
I think you're right. And to mention, there is a great deal of I've been doing this for a while, dude, and the Disney community is the most angsty and upset that I've ever seen them in the past few months.
Yeah.
Your park experience is less than it's ever been, and the costs are astronomical. And so it'll be interesting. It'll just be interesting to see because as soon as crowds go away, and I'm not talking about crowd control and everybody, but I'm talking about people stop coming. And I'm not saying it's going to be empty, but when guest spending goes down, that's when we start to have a problem.
I don't know if guest spending ever will, though, because right now, and I was talking with my friend, right now they are still in the midst of revenge vacations. I'm putting that in quotation mark. But if you don't know what revenge vacation is, it's when people's vacations got canceled because of COVID. People are just traveling because they haven't traveled still. Correct. In 2022. I think once you hit 2024, those revenge vacations will be over, because I think 2022 and 2023 will still have a lot of those revenge vacations.
Yep. But you're going to have Disney coming out of the 50th storyline will be over.
Right.
Epic Universe is gaining a lot of conversation.
Yep.
The conversations that I see online about positive things towards a Universal guest experience over a Disney guest experience of people going down the road and having and let me tell you guys that I'll have DVC. If you don't stay, I'd encourage you, please use a travel agent like someone like Dave and please enjoy the other park. I think you're going to start to find some of that magic you were looking for has head up I-4.
I have long said Universal is a good park. Do not get me wrong. It's a different feel of the park, though.
Yeah.
When I go to Universal, I know I'm at a higher end theme park.
Yes.
But when I go to Disney, it's a vacation. And I can't, and I don't know if my Disney bias is showing. It probably is when I say this.
Well,
But
you have princess kids.
you're right. But even before I had princess kids, Amanda and I tried to go and do a Universal
If
vacation.
those girls become Harry Potter girls, your whole story changes.
But they love Harry Potter. They already do. But they love Harry Potter more than they love Disney princesses more than they love Harry Potter.
Currently.
So, but like I said, Amanda and I tried to do an adult-only Universal trip, and I can do Universal realistically in a day and a half. And that's seeing everything I want to see and riding every ride I want to ride. Amanda doesn't ride roller coasters, so IOA is out pretty much. And so Universal doesn't fit the way Amanda and I like to
I hear
theme
you.
park. So we'll say what you say with the caveat. Disney is better.
Dude,
for
I'm still not going to Universal. I'm not changing my vacation plans. But I'm just saying, I'm not even going to go up the road and look at Universal this week. Although I'm going to be on International Drive probably tonight because when we land, we're going to this cartoon themed faux place called 24 Hour.
Oh, I see what you did there. 24.
Yeah, dude, the whole place is all in black and white cartoon line drawings.
That's cool.
So, I thought it was going to be at 1 o'clock when I got there. Vance, you may want to meet us in the middle of the night there, man. But yeah, my buddy Ian and I, who's one of my coaching clients and a good friend, and so we're whenever I finally arrive. And so yeah, before we transition into top of the lounge, the big news about the lounge, yeah, just keep your expectations where they need to be for the Disney experience and for travel. I still plan on going. I'm hopefully going to ride Guardians tomorrow. We have Epcot reservations, and so
this is one where I'll say no spoilers, please.
I mean, there's really nothing to spoil other than that it's a
freaking
you're either
awesome.
going to like it or not. In I've heard the only negative thing I've heard is from from Tom Corliss from WD News Today, Mr. Who gets a bad rap. The poor dude tore his cornea on the ride.
Oh my gosh.
And so and that's they tell you when you have eye issues to not ride roller coasters.
Right.
Basically, if you've ever read the liability placard before you get on a roller coaster, none of us would ever qualify.
That's true.
I guarantee you everyone I know in my world has 2 or 3 things that pop up on that list that would exclude them from riding from the ride. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, the lounge is open. It's currently they've done a couple of preview events, and then there's a couple of ticketed events. And I think it actually opens Monday night? Is that the first official night?
The 11th is the first official night. So I think is that Monday? Yeah, that's Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm
actually not going on Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be packed. All right, so you're going on Tuesday?
Well, on Tuesday night we have a reservation. I got a Saratoga night.
Oh, okay. So tell me, how do you make reservations?
Well, no, I got a reservation just at Saratoga. I got a room.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to be a Blue Card member.
Right.
You have to have a direct contract, and you have to be staying in a Walt Disney World resort.
Not a DVC, but
you don't necessarily have to be staying DVC, but you have to be there's a little discrepancy on what a Walt Disney World resort means. I'm probably going to push the envelope and see if Vero qualifies for that later this year.
That's a good question.
I'd like to actually go up on Halloween.
Yeah. I haven't seen. Have you seen this? How many people are allowed in the lounge at one time?
It's not very many.
Okay. So it will be full Monday. Let's just go ahead and say that.
Well, I think the deck. Well, it's not just the lounge. The lounge holds a certain number, and then the balcony holds a certain number.
Right. But let's be honest. You're going to the top of the world usually around 9 o'clock to watch the fireworks.
If you want to go and experience the lounge, go and experience the lounge. I could go either way at actually experiencing the fireworks.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try to experience them. Just because I want to be able to tell you what the fireworks were like from there.
Right.
But I could tell you, I'm going to experience the fireworks from there on Tuesday night. For you guys, not for me.
There you go.
Because I don't have a lot of
need to see the fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Although the fireworks, I think, are really good in this show, so I'm expecting them to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think ticketed. I'm not sure, Jeffrey. There's different kinds of ticketed events they do. Disney's leaning in on this blue card mess. Because the resale market has been killing them. I mean, I don't know why they should care. People are there. They're spending money. They're buying park passes.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what.
So Terry, let's talk about what is different at Top of the World now. It is no longer just an unthemed room. It is now themed for the villains.
Well, I'm going to withhold my judgment.
Okay.
On that statement. If that's the case, I have a themed office.
I mean, yes, you do, and I do as well.
I mean, they've left the here's a Funko Pop themed
exactly
toy office.
It's not a toy.
So, dude, I'm looking at, and if you want to if you're listening live, or if you want to go see some great pictures, dvcfan.com.
Yeah, I'll pull up
some great photos.
We'll show it here. I mean, here's the menu. I mean, the Empress charcuterie board, layer made hummus, twisted tails pretzel. Who's afraid of the pork belly sliders? That's genius.
It's a little darker. Here's what I'll say. It's a little darker in there.
Yeah.
They've left the chandelier, which was the previous design, and they've left the giant Bob Gurr feature piece of art about the monorail.
So here we go. I mean,
they've added what looks like
pictures of the
15
villains.
or 20 pictures around the of villains that aren't even like really truly art.
Yeah, why does Ursula get a big picture?
They're literally just like screen grabs of the movie on the wall.
Hey, look, Terry, there's our corner booth.
Yeah, there's our corner booth. I'm not. I mean, that's not. Go back. That's not even a piece of art, dude. That's just a television screen with a screen grab on it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
it's open.
So that means you have a. I appreciate the effort. I think the term reimagined is a bit aggressive in the description of what's happened.
Yeah.
The lack of imagination, the access to imagination in the room was rather limited that day when we, based on what I see, Imagineering had a couple of meetings. We talked about it. We talked about it over lunch one afternoon. I mean, literally, they got on the plaza outside. I've been there. There's normally a food truck pulled up there.
Right.
They sat outside at a picnic table and hey, let's come up with some goofy names for a menu. And
well, let's look at the menu. The
food actually looks solid. The main thing people are going to be concerned about is the cake.
It's there.
I think the original version of the cake is downstairs because it was all chocolate before.
Right.
That's downstairs in the steakhouse.
That looks awesome.
But that cake is amazing. That's your winner.
The charcuterie board?
No, I'm looking at. I'll go back to my screen with you. I was looking at the website.
Okay,
that's the cake. I'll tell you what what I'm gonna have on Tuesday night. And this is where the theming did get you. I'm having a Man in the Forest.
Let's see. What is that? Handcrafted Widow Jane straight bourbon, old fashioned martini, and rosé sweet vermouth. Blandy's Okay, so what straight
So,
Widow Jane bourbon? I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
do you know what the Man in the Forest is a reference to?
No, I don't.
So, when Walt was alive
Right.
and was on the Imagineering floor, when they knew he was coming, everybody shouted "Man in the Forest."
Okay, that's cool.
So you knew that Walt was there, that it was like he was coming to look at your stuff. Because Walt literally just, between Imagineering and animation, they were what he loved.
Yeah,
He tolerated the rest of the business because those were his playgrounds.
right.
And so, so I'm 100% gonna have a $22 Man in the Forest.
Looking at the beer, it's just, I mean,
It's some of the good stuff. They still have the grapefruit.
yeah,
You know,
they've got the IPA, the Cigar City Jolly.
Yep.
From Tampa.
Last time I was there, I had the grapefruit beer.
Yeah, that's good.
They used to have like monorail themed. What is the Cursed Pirate?
The Cursed Pirate. It is rum, black seal rum, passion fruit, pineapple, lime juice, cane sugar, and blue carousel.
Yeah, blue carousel normally leads to bad decisions.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
Like that Need to Breathe song. Bad decisions.
Oh, Terry, speaking of bad decisions, you're flying out at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah. But that was my option. I knew what I was getting into.
Okay.
But it also meant, it's 5:40 in the afternoon. You and I are talking. My wife and I are gonna go have dinner, and then I'm gonna drive to the airport tonight. So, and I could be fully home today.
Okay.
And I knew what I was getting into.
Understood.
And I'm meeting with another crazy person who's going to meet me. We're going to go have pho in the morning. So,
real quick, they did say that Top of the World Lounge will be blocked out on major holidays.
It always has been.
Yeah. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
They typically do a private event for those.
Yeah. Jeffrey said there's one online. There's one online on select nights from 7-Eleven to 8-Eleven, and not so much that I'm trying to be elitist, just curious, because it almost makes it sound like a DVC member cannot bring anyone other than people on their resort reservations. So, I don't know.
Maybe that way in the beginning.
Yeah.
I may or may not have put anybody that I knew that would want to go with me on my reservation.
And Jeffrey says, regarding the $55 ticket, you get a cocktail, an appetizer, and the cake. If you price it out, you're looking $40 to $45 for just those three, so $10 to $15 for access. He's not wrong. That's not too bad for someone who would never get the experience at that location.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go, Terry. I'm keeping us to the 45-minute mark because I've got a sick kid upstairs now that I've got to go take care of.
Yeah, and I've got to go pack my briefcase.
You haven't packed yet?
Oh, I packed most everything but my briefcase. So.
Oh, good God. Okay.
So yeah, dude, it's I'm excited to go. I'll be checking out a few things. I did see that this is the end for Narcoossee's, so I may try to score a reservation.
There you
get
go.
in there.
And
they're basically gutting it.
Yeah, and remember too, next time you hear from Terry and I, Terry will be give us a top of the world review, and I will give you my Disneyland review.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be a few weeks before we do another show, so I wanted to make sure. I can give you my review of Vancouver.
There you go.
You know.
Do me a favor, actually. When you are at the Top of the World Lounge on Tuesday, can you go live in the Top of the World group?
Yeah, I can probably do that.
Because I think it'd be cool to actually see what it looks like on the inside. I haven't been a DVC fan since it's been open, or DVC member since it's been open. So this is going to be new for me.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening to this show right now and you happen to be there and you want to meet up, let me know. Post in the group, leave a comment on the live here. Or if you happen to catch the podcast, Dave will hopefully get it edited sooner rather than later.
I'll put it up tomorrow.
And
That's
so things are moving positively. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for and I'm with Jeffrey on that $59 price. That's not absurd. They're basic, and I wouldn't be shocked if they went to that. There's a lot of people who go up there and you just use the advantage of the space to watch fireworks, which is just like, come on, be a decent human. There are people up there that are depending on you working, and so
buy a drink, buy a charcuterie board, do something.
Yeah. Southwest is just now texting me to finally say, okay, it really is delayed. This is us telling you. You've probably been watching it on the app. Yeah. And by all means, go up there, have the cake, have the cocktail. They have mocktails. They even have a couple of like kids specialty drinks. It looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I forgot what the kids options were. I definitely thought they were kind of fun. They have one that's zero proof, they called it. And then there's a mocktail, which I guess they're the same.
There's no difference to me.
Yeah, I guess one that has a little more of the mocktail is the Lion's Uncle, orange sherbet, Sprite, and grenadine. That sounds fantastic.
That really does.
Yeah, but you'll just see me hey, this is Terry from Top of the World, and I'm having a Shirley Temple.
A Shirley Temple with orange.
So, well, awesome, dude. Well, I'm excited that we can finally say hi from the corner booth. I'm kind of bummed you're not coming. I mean, it's not too late for you to hop on down Tuesday night.
It really is, because I'm leaving to go out of the country for 10 days. So it really is too late.
I understand. I'm about to go out of the country and do the same thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, out of the country to the country of Alaska.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be one of those.
You're basically going to Russia. So hopefully,
can I see Russia from my backyard?
Yeah, hopefully you don't. They don't invade.
Well, if they do, I just won't bring hemp.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jeffrey Martin said the zero proof uses non-alcoholic alcohol, whereas mocktails, it's just the mixtures. I think he's right.
One at least has a little something in it. The other is just there to put you into a diabetic coma.
Right.
So, on that note, well, that'll do it. We'll see you next time from
our corner booth. Are we going to do it?
Top of the World Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm Terry Weaver, and he's
Dave Adams.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.